Hans-Dieter Klingemann is the president of Bau International and a political science professor at the Free University of Berlin. He joins me now. Hello there. Thanks for coming on the show. Now, within the last 30 minutes, Germany's foreign minister, Sigmar Gabriel, has been quoted as saying that Trump's actions have weakened the West. What do you make of that?
Well, it is hard to figure out where Trump would lead. And he certainly, given the weight of the United States, should have a clear strategy. But that, for many of the other world leaders, is not clearly to be seen.
So Trump doesn't have a world strategy, which inevitably will affect the EU's strategy. So let's talk about those comments that Angela Merkel made, because they do mark a huge change in political rhetoric, don't they? Do you think she's playing to a domestic audience ahead of those elections, or is this a statement of intent?
Well, everything in Germany right now is framed by the upcoming election, and all the information will be interpreted like that. But I think it is not just the election. I think that the issues that Trump is raising and the links to Europe via NATO, that they have changed dramatically. And leaders like Angela Merkel, who is an old fox and since long a shrewd politician, she has sensed that and she speaks it. Normally, Angela Merkel is a very cautious person. But now I think after the meeting in Paris with the NATO and after the G7, many of the European leaders are really, well, how should I phrase it? I mean, they are no longer sure that the close ties between the United States and Europe via NATO and via other trade agreements still hold.
So it does seem then that Merkel views the US now as an unreliable partner, if you like. But without them, what does it mean for Europe?
There is no way that the security policies can be defined without the United States. What is being talked about is to strengthen the policies in the countries where most of the refugees in Africa come from, like Libya, like other African countries. So to build up the economy there and to see to it that these people have a living in their own countries, that they are not flooding towards European borders. I think that is one strategy. The other strategy is that the politicians try to circumvent Trump by traveling now to the states, to North Carolina, to Georgia, to wherever in the United States. You have big investments of German companies like BMW. I guess yesterday the German economic minister, Tsipras, was in the United States and followed just that strategy. So the weight of the United States is such that independent strategies are very hard to come by. And what Europe currently does is trying to get its act together and circumvent some of the consequences that will come from a policy that, let's say, hinders free trade and tries to have a security policy which is more independent and not so much coordinated via the NATO.
An independent strategy is going to be hard to come by, and they might need to circumnavigate the United States. Well, Hans-Dieter Klingemann, Thank you very much for that insight.